Welcome to my channel. This is Bruce the Boss Brooks, and today is Saturday, April the 3rd, 2021. And what you are watching right now is a live look thanks to Rutley TV. Shout out to them. If you're not already subscribed to them, definitely check them out because what they're doing or showing, and what I'm trying to do also with my content on this channel, is to reveal a lot of what's not being shown by the mainstream media, what they don't want you to see, and that is that people, millions of people everywhere, are waking up and fighting back and pushing back against the official narrative and a lot of these measures. However, what the media will try to portray to the masses, at least especially here in the United States, is that if you are against any of the measures that the government is doing, you're somehow a weirdo, you're not part of the majority, you're part of some alt-right movement. I'm not alt-right, I'm not conservative. But they'll try to castigate everyone under that label to try to discourage any dissenting thoughts or opinions on what's going on. And what you're seeing right now is a protest in London it's called Kill the Bill March. But before I go on further, don't forget to, in order to support my content, don't forget to subscribe to my content. Shout out to Rutley as well, to them, so that you can see a lot of what's not being shown by the mainstream media and what's going on around us, and giving the silent majority a voice. So go ahead, subscribe to my channel, like this video, please comment on this video. I want to know your thoughts on what's going on, at least particularly here for my people in the United Kingdom and their struggle, their fight. Their fight is essentially our fight, because a lot of what's going on over there could and has in many measures already moved to the United States, could be happening in France as well, Italy, Germany, Australia. So we do need to rise up together. And shout out to Rutley TV, to which YouTube's also trying to label as a Russian bot or a Russian paid site as to further discourage it. But that I digress. Let me play a little audio. This is them gathering.
One.
Social distance.
Okay.
So it looks like they're about to hit the streets and start their march. So what's this kill the bill that they're marching for, or marching against, I guess you can say? And this is a massive crowd. Again, this is something that the mainstream media is not going to necessarily show you, because they want you to believe that everyone is just complying, that the government is doing everything that they can to protect you, that the government is looking out for you, that they make these laws and or measures, because a lot of them aren't even laws, but just orders, big difference. But they're doing it, they're trying to say they're doing it for you, for your protection, or as if they represent what you, the people, want, and that you should just comply. And they don't want you to see that there are people all over the world that are rising up against it. One of the things I love about my people in Europe in general, whether it be France, Germany, Italy, well, I haven't seen as much of it in Italy, but definitely in Germany and France, in the Nordic countries and Australia, are massive protests against big authoritarianism, fascism, and totalitarianism going on in their particular countries. They are pushing back, and this is very refreshing to see. These are a bunch of different groups, as you can probably see. Some Black Lives Matter protests are joining in as well, with just those who are against a lot of these government regulations. What specifically is happening right now is there has been a bill that has passed the second reading in Parliament that will severely restrict people's right to protest. That's it. that will give the police additional powers to break up any protests, therefore silencing individuals' ability to speak out against what's going on. And that's why you have this convergence of so many different groups coming together, including Black Lives Matter, as well as just other individuals saying, you know, we have a voice. You're trying to kill all of our voices with this bill. So they're trying to stop it, and that's what the whole Kill the Bill march is for. It's happening in London, Nottingham, Jersey, Bristol, many different parts within the United Kingdom. They're trying to stop this bill that will give police the right to break up their right to protest, which, as we all know, protest has led to so many historical marks in human history that has led to positive change, like the right to vote, like the right for abortion. Whether you're against it or not, it gave people the right to have the say of what they wanted to do. And now, what are they protesting about? I'll go into some of the COVID measures that are enacting right now, or that they're enacting, but I wanted to play this video, which is stemming from some of the severe totalitarianism that's going on in the United Kingdom. So this is a liturgy, if I'm pronouncing it right, service, which if you're a practicing Catholic, you're very familiar with. This was a liturgy service happening on Good Friday yesterday that I'll play.
So please explain us.
This is a cop trying to break up this service.
Ladies and gentlemen, this gathering is unfortunately unlawful under the coronavirus regulations we have currently. You are not allowed to meet inside with this many people under law. At this moment in time, you need to go home. Failure to comply with this direction to leave and go to your home address ultimately could lead you to be fined £200, or if you fail to give your details, to you being arrested. I suggest, ladies and gentlemen, though it is Good Friday, and I appreciate you would like to worship, that this gathering is unlawful. So please may you leave.
So please explain.
That shook me to my core. Here you have officers, cops, literally telling these practicing Catholics, you do not have the right to worship on your holy day. Just to be clear, this is not Sunday Mass. And even if it was, apparently, that would be illegal as well. But they're essentially saying you do not have the right to worship at your places of worship. I know they don't have the amendments that we have here in the United States, which is very scary to know what the government can try to trample on. And that is one of the reasons why it's very important that people continue to fight for your rights, because if you don't fight for your rights, you'll lose them. You know, freedoms are not historically given. They're taken, and they're not usually given back without fight. So back on March the 29th, there were additional measures and or laws passed in the United Kingdom to further, as they're entering into their third lockdown. So if you're not aware, there were many laws put into the books, new rules under their, what is this? I believe their third lockdown now. I'll be more than glad to put a link to this site here. This is the UK guidelines for their new COVID-19 restrictions as they entered into a new lockdown on March 29th. Some of these restrictions, I'm not going to go over every single one, but a lot of them are really ridiculous. I think most people can agree face masks, whether you agree or don't agree with wearing face masks, whether you want to or not, is it effective or not, is up to you. But that's not the straw that broke the camel's back here. What's really been, I believe, very controversial in regards to some of the new restrictions are this right here: meeting families and friends indoors. As a result of the new lockdown measures enacted as of last week, March 29, 2021, in the United Kingdom, you must not meet indoors with anyone you do not live with unless if they are part of your approved social support bubble. Again, you are not allowed to meet indoors with anyone you do not already live with unless if they are a part of your support bubble, and you have to see if you're eligible. Now, back to the other video we just saw of the Catholic service, the liturgy, if I'm pronouncing that right. They're just essentially saying, we are your new gods. Worship us, or, you must bow to us. Your God comes secondary. Now they're also trying to infringe on what you can and cannot do in your own home. You are not in the United Kingdom right now free to meet with anyone indoors unless if it complies with this rule of 6. So you can meet, actually no, let me take that back. You cannot meet indoors with anyone you do not already live with unless if there are extreme or extenuating work circumstances. So you cannot meet with friends or family unless if you already live with them indoors. Outdoors, they're giving you the rule of 6. You can meet outdoors with friends and family you do not live with, so long as that group is no more than 6 people. Unless if they're already part of your household. You cannot meet with anyone outdoors if your numbers exceed 6 people. So they're essentially saying you do not have the freedom to assemble for more than 6 individuals. Go on to some of the other insane gathering restrictions, or some of the other restrictions. So moving right along here. Essentially it's saying same rule when it comes to exercise, physical activity. You cannot engage in exercise outdoors in groups larger than 6. Again, going back to that rule of 6. Funerals, I guess this is a cool thing that they did at least allow people to have funerals again. However, the maximum capacity of anyone in an indoor setting is no more than 30. Still upsetting for an individual who may have touched the lives of many more people than that. You're essentially cutting them out of their right to say goodbye to the individual, but okay. Weddings and civil partnership ceremonies, still adhering to the rule of 6. You cannot have a wedding or partnership ceremony that exceeds 6 people. So you have the bride and the groom, or the groom and the groom, bride and bride, whatever the case. That's already 2 of your 6 people, 1/3 of your maximum capacity. That means that now you have to really start cutting people out because, okay, you have bride and the groom. Or, all right, you have 2 partners. One partner has 2 parents. The other partner still has 2 parents living, let's assume. Let's assume both parties have both of their parents living. That's your maximum of 6 right there. No best man, no maid of honor, no flower girl. No one but the couple and their parents. If you want to include someone else, then you have to exclude a parent, assuming that both all parties, both parents are living. Then you have to make the choice. Do I have my best man, or do I have my parent, or one of my parents, or exclude one of them? We just saw the video of the place of worship. So they're saying you can attend places of worship for a service. When the service is taking place indoors, you must not mingle with anyone outside your household or support bubble. You should maintain social distancing at all times, staying 2 meters apart from anyone who is not in your household or support bubble. When the service is taking place outdoors, you must not mingle in groups larger than 6, except for, but we just saw them in that video. They're making it, while it reads like this, that you can still have your services or places of worship so long as you social distance about 2 meters apart. We just saw video of United Kingdom police officers coming into a Catholic church and breaking up the service. So they're not even adhering to the latitude that seems to be given, unless if they are mixing the two and saying, okay, you can have your places of worship, but whether it be outdoors or indoors, it cannot exceed the rule of 6. I'll have to click on that link for further guidelines. But the other thing that really, I think, set a lot of people off as well when it comes to the new restrictions is travel. if you live in the United Kingdom, I'll highlight this, and this was very controversial, I thought, is that you are not allowed to leave the country as of March the 29th unless if you have a reasonable excuse to leave, in which case they will not permit you, otherwise they will not permit you to leave the country, unless if you have a reasonable excuse. I.e., you're not just free to go on a whim. You can't just vacation like, oh, I want to vacation to the United States. I want to see Africa, Egypt, which I know is part of Africa. I was just starting to break down some of the countries. So you cannot visit Egypt. You cannot visit Libya. You cannot visit Nigeria. You cannot visit South Africa, Cape Town to vacation if you just want to sightsee. It could be done for work. And even then, I believe it must be a reasonable reason why your company is taking you abroad. But you cannot just leave the country unless if you have an excuse that is reasonable and that they approve, which gets really, really murky waters when a government literally tells you when you cannot leave the country. Now, these police officers right here have not broken anything up, luckily. This is a massive protest right here. I've seen, it looks like thousands of individuals, but I wouldn't be surprised if you have some media outlets who do report on this say hundreds gathered. But it's great to see individuals fighting for their rights. So this is what is happening in the United Kingdom right now. This is their struggle. If you live in another country, France, Germany, Australia, and you follow this channel or you're watching this video, please let me know of some of the things that is going on in your country. I'd love to speak to it and just put it out there, because we need to let our voices be known that we won't stand for oppression or totalitarianism, because last I recall, the government are supposed to be public servants. They're supposed to serve the will of the people or represent the will of the people, not dictate to those people. But that seems to be what they're moving toward. And if we don't stop it now, we'll never get those rights back. So that's what's happening in the UK right now. It's called the Kill the Bill March, to try to kill the bill that is being introduced into Parliament. Again, it's already passed a second reading that will allow police to, if it actually does pass and is signed into law, will allow these officers to break up a march like this, because it would be deemed unlawful to gather. And again, essentially kill your right to voice an opinion in public, to gather in public in mass. So that's all. This is Bruce the Boss Brooks. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to help support content like this in the face of mass media and big tech censorship and suppression in the algorithms. Your subscriptions will go a long way in beating the algorithm suppression that's currently going on in YouTube, and as well as allow you to see some of my latest content as I'll start to post more and more videos. Don't forget to comment on this video. I want to keep going and exchange of thoughts and ideas, and your comments also go a long way in helping to keep it up in the algorithm. Videos like this give people like us a voice. Don't forget to like this video, share this video. This is Bruce the Boss Brooks, and I'm out. Peace.